I don't know what else to say.
You're moved.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah.
The power of belief and the power of intention.
Yes.
And thank
And
you
the
for,
magic of Soraya. Come on, let's face it, okay?
well,
Yes.
we're gonna paint the whole continent positive with color. Thank you.
Absolutely.
I would
Thank
like
you.
to really just take this opportunity to bring back this incredible band who is going to take us to Ghana.
Bravo.
Thank you.
This is a song of um, the legendary band Osibisa. It's called Welcome. Enjoy.
Thank you.
You've been gone yet something home. Come on back when you are. You are home when you are. Come on, welcome home. Regrets for much too long. Start the place and say I am. You are always welcome home. Welcome home. There's something
We lost our band?
They are muted, accidentally muted.
Ah, I wanted to hear from them.
Yes.
Shushaaa is the name of the band, which is named after a hot, spicy pepper. And certainly they offer a lot of spice in their music. And so I wanted to ask them about that and how
Yes,
they
they
got
don't know
going.
that they automatically got muted, and I don't know how to unmute them.
Hmm.
Oh, guys.
You have to invite them to unmute.
I will. I just did it.
Try going into the participants link at the bottom of your screen and see if you can unmute them from there, from your end.
Thank you.
Sit down.
You're welcome.
Tell him to sit down.
Hmm.
Okay, so
There you are.
this is Kpakposhito Ensemble. I'm starting again. And then
Ready?
we are a band all the way from Ghana, West Africa, comprising of a group of young guys who want to address life issues, real life issues through the power of music. And we aim to impact our world and make it a better place through our music.
Yes.
So this is Kpakposhito Ensemble for you. And as we say, Shushaaa, that is the sound that you make when you eat hot chili pepper.
Shushaaa.
You cannot do away with the burning sensation of pepper. However, you don't say because of that burning sensation, you're not going to eat pepper again. Pepper is nice, but it burns. That's how music is. You will love it, you hear it, you love it. It will burn you, but you like it.
So
I
love spicy food.
Yes. Then you will love Shushaaa.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
It's Kpakposhito to the world.
As musicians, how has it been for you dealing with this whole COVID environment? You haven't been able to go out and perform live. So how have you been sharing your craft and your music and inspiring people?
So just like any other arts, any other events, people, music is very, very important, especially even at this time. I mean, we are not able to hold concerts and do all those things we're at liberty to do hitherto. But then we try as much as we can to entertain, and we play our music like just like this. We do some virtual events, and then we still get a way to entertain our people. It's never been easy. We are all just praying that things will go back to normal so that we can have a normal life. But then we are holding up.
And give us your name. And give us your name and introduce your band.
Okay, so my name is Desmond Man, and the name of the band is Kpakposhito Ensemble. We have genres like high life, Afro funk, Afro fusion, anything that has to do with Afro. And quite recently, we are incorporating the Latin field. So we have the Afro Latin too. This is Kpakposhito.
Wonderful. Well, we're going to request that you give us a little bit of bridge music. We were going to allow you to close our session later on with full songs. But if you can just give us a little bridge as we set up for our next artist, we would greatly appreciate it because we need a little pepper. Little Shushaaa. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. So now we get to, are we listening to Shushaaa now?
Yeah, we'll listen just a little bit of Shushaaa, I think, and then we can go to Jonathan.
Thank you.
Only fast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bravo. Yes. Amazing. Amazing. So now we're going to take you all the way over from South Africa, all the way over to West Africa in Ghana. And our next artist, Jonathan Soraya. What was your relationship again with Jonathan, and how did you all meet?
Jonathan was a guest at my last show, actually, in December. He's a friend of Ebenezer, and I asked him to share his work with me, and I absolutely fell in love. Ghana is definitely a destination place for me. It's on my bucket list. And I really, when the more he shared about who he is and what he does and how he does it, I had to bring him into one of our shows, and he was so willing to do that. And I'd much rather have him share. He's got incredible things to say about his work. So without much else to do there, please go ahead, Jonathan, and talk to us.
Hello,
Thank you
Jonathan.
very much. Hello,
Here you
thank
are.
you very much.
Yes, yes. How are you? How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Enjoying the show so far. Thanks
Yeah.
to Sheppard, the band, and Edward, and to everyone.
Yes, yes, yes. So we have our Shushaaa. Nice,
Yeah.
hot, spicy, and peppery.
Yes.
Thank you.
So we go over to your work, Jonathan, and we have a work up now. And much of your work focuses on the coastal life there in Ghana. And tell us about the images here that we're seeing now, and why do you focus on the coastal life in Ghana?
First of all, I would like to thank everybody and the team of Calamine Africa for putting this show together. I'm very much grateful. And also to my good friend and mentor, Ebenezer Kinola, who through him, I was able to know about Calamine Africa. The piece on the screen is a Jamestown. And Jamestown is one of the oldest fishing communities in the Greater Accra region where I was born. And when you visit the fishing community, it will expose you to the rich traditional fishing style of the fishermen and the lifestyle of the people. So for an artist, this becomes very fascinating and very complexity of their life whenever you have the chance to visit Jamestown. So most of the time, I travel to Jamestown, which is just about 45 minutes from where I live. And I go there with my sketch pad. And anytime I go there, I see a different side of how they live and their story. But unfortunately, the government decided to break it down to make way for new modern buildings and also to give them a new ultra-modern fishing environment. For me as an artist, I'm very happy. I was able to record a number of paintings from Jamestown, which has become a memory that generations can always refer to when the new construction begins.
Well, you know what, you bring up a point that is so very important, is how artists are historians in your own right. And
Yes.
So now you have captured for forever
Yes.
something that generations to come will not actually experience as you have, but they will have it as a recorded document through art.
Yes.
So, you know, this is, yeah, I'm always just fascinated of how artists are able to take that personal aspect of their life and living experience and articulate it on the canvas. And it's really an authentic expression, probably more so than reading a book, which is edited several times over and over and over. But for an artist, it goes from your heart straight to the canvas. And so it's pure. Yeah. And what are we looking at here now? This is, and the things that I find exciting about your work is that you can feel it, right? It's like I can feel those waves.
Thank you very much.
In the wind.
And that's my way of using watercolor to connect with people. I want them to feel as if they are there. You know, that is my little way. So when I'm painting, I allow the feelings to be more mutual, that the viewer should be able to connect with the painting. And for me, that is the most important part of my watercolor paintings.
Yes, yes. And why the use of watercolor versus other mediums? As Edward shared, it allows him a freedom. What does watercolor do for you?
Yes. For me, when I started, I didn't know anything much about watercolor, but due to my curiosity, I wanted to know what is all this watercolor about. And growing up in the art industry in Ghana, I couldn't find much watercolorists in Ghana. So I decided to stand out with watercolor. So it has taken me for almost 20 years now, 2 decades, practicing and working with watercolor. And watercolor has given me a lot of opportunities to travel and to share my stories of where I live and what I do through watercolor. And Color Me Africa is also another platform given to me to expose my watercolors to the world. And I'm very much grateful.
And for your artwork, it focuses here, but do you have other images that you work with as well outside of the coastal plain area?
All these images are linked together. This is the popular spot in Jamestown, and Jamestown is dominant of coastal scene. So that is the lighthouse tower that you are seeing. So all my paintings are related to the coast. Over here, I wasn't showing much of the coastal scene because I wanted to focus on the tower and also the environment where they live. A few seconds away from this spot, you are looking at the coastal scene. So they are all together.
I was really intrigued to find out from Soraya that you were one of the few, if not one of the few, watercolorists in Ghana. How did that
That's very right. Yes.
How did
yes,
that
yes.
happen? Why?
Well,
why?
I realized that there were a lot of artists who were basically not interested, also find it very challenging. So when I was doing my first degree thesis, I had the opportunity to do a research on the importance of watercolor in our educational system. And I was able to find out that a lot of artists cannot cope with the challenges involved in painting with watercolor. Also, there were lack of resources of materials. And basically, a lot of artists don't have the patience to master the watercolor. So due to all these challenges is what inspires me to set the way forward that generations can follow. That once upon a time, there was a great watercolorist who was able to bring Ghana watercolorists to the world and to inspire many people, which I'm still doing. I've trained a lot of students. I have a lot of students who are also coming in to study, and I've become like a leader they are all looking up to. So I'm very much grateful that I chose watercolor.
And you've also have captured the eye and the attention of a lot of international collectors, particularly over in China. How is that working out for you?
It was amazing. The first time I traveled to China was in 2014, just after my graduation. I was invited to China, and the National Museum in Qingdao, they purchased 4 of my artwork for their national museum, alongside other international watercolor artists. So during the seminar of the exhibition, the curator mentioned that my works and the strokes that I show in my works reminds them of the Chinese calligraphy writing, especially the way I do the boats, the pose on the boat. It fascinates them. So they collected 4 of the paintings, which are all coastal paintings, into their museum. So from there, I was able to get more contacts and also a curator who decided to exhibit more of my works in China. And it came across to Europe as well. When I traveled to Europe, I've been going to Europe almost every 2 years. And they keep collecting my work because they fall in love with the coastal scenes. Yes, and I'm happy to also share the same experience with Americans today.
Wonderful. And as Soraya has said, each artist who has participated in the Good Work series did so for a specific reason. What does participating in the Good Work series mean to you?
Well, coming out from this pandemic, which we all know that it has created a lot of vacuum in our lives, this exhibition is to create the awareness of how life has been with us. So I see this Good Work exhibition as another way of contributing to help bring African artists to the world. So it's a very good initiative, and congratulations to Soraya for the good work she's doing.
Now, I'm not sure if we have the studio tour of your space because it's a very unique. Do we have video of your studio?
Yes, we have a video, and I can also do a live video right now to move the camera around.
Oh, you're going to do it live. Okay. Well, give us the grand tour of where all the magic happens in your studio.
Okay, so basically, if you can see, I displayed the works today. Here we have the actual Jamestown, and the title is The Return Jamestown. Okay. And this is also a Jamestown painting that we are now seeing it, right? And the title is Memories of Jamestown, so that I can always remember the last pictures I created before the demolition. And this was also captured on the coast of Cape Coast that I mentioned earlier. And this was also captured in Cape Coast, a sole fisherman sailing the boat. Same as here, capturing togetherness of how they both came together from fishing. They packed their boats. So the title is The Boat Pack. And basically in my studio, I don't use much of the easel because I have to work very freely on the floor because it allows me to move around the paint and the colors very easily without distractions.
Interesting.
Because when working with watercolors, you need to control the board. So you have to stretch the paper in such a way that it allows you to move the board up and down 90 degrees, any angle of your choice.
Interesting. Yes. Okay. So you have better control when it's on the floor of how the water kind of moves over that canvas?
Yes, because this is watercolor. So it has to work freely. Sometimes you don't need to touch the surface with your brush. So by just tilting the board, it allows the water to flow in the direction that you prefer.
So what about the themes that you're dealing with now, now that you really can't get outside to do those wonderful coastal scenes and capture them? I would imagine that they're radically different now in the midst of COVID. What kind of images might we expect to see coming from you as we emerge out of this whole COVID experience?
Yes, I'm working more on figurative works because I'm able to get the subjects right before me. I have a lot of models who post for me. And surprisingly, to the world, what I'm trying to do now is to do a 8 feet watercolor painting.
8 feet?
Yes, which has never happened before. And I have the paper right stretched at the back of this board. So that is going to be the biggest surprise when I finished it.
Wow.
So this whole board is full of 8 feet watercolor paper.
Wow.
Which I'm keeping as a surprise.
So, and what are you going to paint on that 8 foot stretch of paper?
Well, I have a series of horse painting, and the title is In Search of a New King. It's going to be a series of how kings are initiated to take over the throne. So it's going to be a narrative painting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing, Soraya. We might have to do another exhibition, right?
Absolutely.
Africa.
Yeah.
Well, perhaps an opening at the gallery.
Yes, because this is going to be the first time people are going to see an 8 feet watercolor painting coming from Africa.
Oh, my word.
Well, that is terribly exciting.
Well, Edward, you heard that, so you may have to go up to 10 feet.
That's amazing.
I would just like to also add that this is the first time Edward has ever collaborated internationally.
Really?
Yes.
That was going to be my follow-up question, Soraya.
Okay. Go ahead.
Was the power of collaboration. And how do you all, as artists in an artist community, develop an affinity for one another, respect for one another's work, synergy that you might receive from one another, inspiration that you might receive from one another? What are those relationships like? If this is the first time for you, Edward, will you do it again? What did you glean from this experience?
I think I will do it again. I think, sharing ideas and listening to Jonathan also, it's an inspiration, for me, what I'm hearing. And that's so good, because sometimes sharing ideas, in art, you cannot compete, but you can be inspired. That's the only thing that you can get in art.
It's the inspiration. Yes.
Yes.
And what about for you, Jonathan?
Well, it's very good to know that I have an African brother in South Africa who is also doing watercolor, because I wanted to encourage more of the Africans to take up the challenge in watercolor, so that we can also show to the world what we can do with watercolors. So I'm very happy for this collaboration with Edward. I'm very happy to know, because this was my first time ever knowing that there's a South African artist, Edward, who is doing watercolor. So I'm very, very much grateful for this opportunity.
Such a lot of wonderful gifts coming out of this. Thank you. The unique thing about this is that watercolor is primarily dominated by whites on the continent. It's a huge medium for them, and they are very successful globally with this medium. And which is what made this even more compelling, that we have two artists of color who have chosen to take this on, and but to get the exposure that they deserve is something that we are standing for, where their work is elevated, their prices equally so, and they stand equal to any watercolorist anywhere on the planet, including Africa.
Well, that certainly stands as an invitation for all of those who are watching to please consider seriously making that investment in art today, and also making an investment in Color Me Africa. A quick reminder that this is a fundraiser today for Color Me Africa, so that Soraya is able to continue to bring artists and showcase their work virtually, and one day soon, hopefully, in galleries around the globe, certainly here in Chicago and South Africa. And I know you've identified a few other points where you would like to have brick and mortar gallery spaces. And even if not your own, that you're able to bring the artists in so they can circulate around the gallery community here in the United States. So yes, we do want to applaud you for that effort. And we ask that everyone who is watching to please go to colormeafricafineart.com and follow the prompts to make a contribution today. Make it within this hour so we can acknowledge you globally for your contribution that you make in support of Color Me Africa. That's colormeafricafineart.com. Go ahead, Soraya.
Thank you. Yeah, I've just received a donation. And
Bravo!
And I wonder who the mystery donor is.
Oh, it's a mystery donor. Okay, well, hopefully it was like $4 million, and everybody who makes a pledge today will match it, okay?
Thank you. We'll get to that, right, W?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you. I will find out, and I'll make sure that person is acknowledged globally. Thank you.
And Soraya, if I may, we talk about artists who came on the first show and then showed up here now being presented globally. If I may, I'd like to welcome and give a shout out to an artist who's with us right now and joining us for the first time, Miss Akimi W. Akimi Worrell is a mixed media artist from Westchester, New York, via, an African via the Caribbean from Barbados. And I want to welcome Akimi and thank her for joining us today.
And please introduce yourself. I was going to ask Soraya to introduce her team because, of course, none of this is done alone. So, who is this dynamic woman that we know is part of your team?
Hi, I'm Ginger. I am and so amazed and enthralled with Soraya. And I work with her and Stephanie and Nadia to do the marketing communications for Color Me Africa. So a lot of the memes you see on the social media and the stories that are being shared, I'm responsible for that.
Bravo,
And
bravo.
the ideas, just coming up with great ideas with Stephanie, who you see down in the lower right corner. My partner in crime there, and an amazing artist herself. And so we're doing our best to promote and support artists from Africa.
Thank you so much, Ginger. Just a little quick backstory. I met Ginger at the Harlem Fine Art Show in 2018. She engaged one of our artists. They were going to work on a project, and her name kept coming up. And eventually, I dragged her into us and said, "Please help us, please help us." And here she is, and she's been awesome. Thank you. And I really want to thank Gladys, who's been, Gladys, you were at the very beginning of this journey yourself.
Mhm.
I shared with you what I want to do, what I want to create, and she's also a fellow landmark graduate. In fact, we are on an extraordinary journey together to make a big impact in the world at the moment in a course we're taking in leadership. And I want to thank you for your contribution today, and thank you for extending yourself. I will reach out. Thank you. And what we call an enrollment conversation. So I had to get to this point of the enrollment conversation, and I thank you, Gladys. I really appreciate you even being here today. Thank you.
May I say something?
Sure.
I just want to say thank you, Jonathan and Edward. I'm a textile and stained glass artist, and my love for textile came through my undergraduate. And I graduated in the 80s, mid 80s. And during that time, of course, apartheid was, the word of apartheid was spreading in the United States. And I was able to bring one of the African National Congress representatives to my college campus here in Cleveland. It was wall to wall, out the door.
Oh, wow.
Attendance. And I'll never forget. And they put us in the lower level of the union. They did not know that people were hungry for information. And so it was wall to wall, out the door. And I remember after everyone left and we were closing the door, I looked to my professor and I said, "So what do you think we did?" And he says, "You got an A in this class, right?" And I've really just love Nelson Mandela, and I just love what you bring to the table. I just started dabbling into watercolor. See, I thought it was textile and stained glass only, but I started dabbling watercolor, and never did I realize what you just said, Edward, about water flows from my heart. I never got that. That's so beautiful. And Jonathan, when you said, the history, you're an artist, is a historian in its own right. I love art, and that's my passion too. And I believe that everyone can manifest their gifts and discover what their gifts are through the mode of art. So Soraya, I stand with you, and I love that art. You can't compete in art. I don't know who said that. I don't know if it was Edward or Jonathan. There's no competition in art. It's only an inspiration. So, and our generous hostess. Wow, I'm impressed.
Oh, well, thank you. You're very kind. And
Thank you.
I thank you for sharing. That was very powerful. And to know that art is inspiring, it's invigorating, it's life-giving. We can take a look at the logo of Color Me Africa. And Soraya, you said it earlier that you really wanted to just show all the broad strokes of color that come out of Africa, and your logo even represents that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Shall we
you.
open up to Q&A if there are others who would like to jump in?
Absolutely. Anybody would like to ask any questions of our artists? Gladys, you welcome to anybody. The floor is open.
Yes. And is Nadia close by? We did want to
I don't
introduce
see
Miss
her.
Nadia.
She's actually on a podcast, and she knew she may not be making it. so-
Okay. All right. Not to worry. And we do want to give a shout out to your mother.
Mhm.
Oh,
We
yes.
absolutely must do that.
Thank
And we
you.
have the very good news that she has been triumphant and overcoming a health challenge, or out of the hospital now. And, Soraya, we got 3 generations of women around this project. And I just think that's amazing in and of itself. But your mother is a miracle. They had wrote her off 5 times and she has come back stronger each time.
Yes, she is. And I actually told her to. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but you're probably going to hear it. Here's a message.
Guys, all of you, that energy that came from all of you, all you gods out there, we are not separate. Sorry. I am much better, and it's because of the energy. We are not separated. We are one, connected human beings, and I appreciate what the energy I received from all of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I'm feeling so much better. I don't know how I got here, but I now know. Your energies, all of you, my sweet darlings, I love all of you. Thank you. Bye.
Oh, you're going to make me cry. Oh,
I get to call that woman my mother, okay?
it's just amazing. Amazing. But we know, Soraya, that the energy that you have, you got it, as we say, honestly. Your mother's a true example. You didn't fall far from that tree. And we're just grateful to have you in our living space now and able to experience you and all that you have to offer in the big things that you have to accomplish through Color Me Africa Fine Arts.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Really, thank you. A very short conversation with her the other morning. I called her. She said, "Honey, I'm home."
And home from the hospital. Understand that, okay? And how long has she
that
been?
is the sweet sound. That is the sweetest sound I can hear. I said, "Mom, do you realize we could be grieving now?" So thank you for making my show turn out into what it's going to turn out into. It's in her honor. All of this is in her honor. So Nadia has joined us, I believe. Hello, welcome, Nadia.
I've been watching on Facebook Live. So I've been commenting
okay.
on Facebook Live. I had a whole bunch of comments. And yes, artist as a historian, Jonathan, absolutely. And the joy that you bring to your work, Edward, it was wonderful. Just splendid.
Thank you very much.
Awesome, Deborah. You need your own TV show.
Oh, well, this is it. Look, this is it. We're going to bring art to the world.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Stephanie, Ginger, Mom, the band.
Yeah, the band.
The band.
Shushaaa.
Before we close out and I want to just acknowledge the team. Really, without these powerful women that I have just been embraced by, would not be possible. And again, and each one, just like a work of art, you know where you found that wonderful piece. You have a story behind each one. When you hang it up, you want to share it with people, and then you want to tell them the story. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go through all that, but I want you to know that I have a unique relationship with each and every one of you. Deborah, you and I have a lot of great things ahead of us. I'm clear. I knew that from day one, and I finally succeeded. So thank you for being a yes.
Oh, well, thank you for being persistent.
And the same thing with you, Nadia. Nadia is my daughter. I get to call her my daughter. And she's my heart. She's my biggest benefactor and supporter and believes in me 110%. She's been through the ebbs and flows of this journey, and she's like watching her mother grow up. Thank you, Nadia. And again, Ginger, you're so special to me. Thank you. I haven't actually I've never met you personally. I know of you through some other artists, but as if I've known you forever. So thank you for saying yes. And we're going to do more. And Stephanie, who's just been the creative genius behind this with me, I don't know how I could have done this without all you creative human beings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have a wonderful adventure ahead, and I look forward to more like this. And so if there aren't any questions of our artists, I would like to like the band to take us out.
Bravo. And also remember, colormeafricafineart.com to make those art acquisitions and to make a donation in support of Color Me Africa Fine Art. Shushaaa! Take it away.
You're on mute, guys.